All right, so I think we're going to get started. There will be a recording of the webinar afterwards that you will all receive, and that will be added to the website. And so if anyone's sort of popping in late, they can catch up on that afterwards. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Shay. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications at BusinessLink. So at BusinessLink, we take pride in providing services to all entrepreneurs, and we're honored to provide specialty services to immigrant entrepreneurs and Indigenous entrepreneurs and communities. We're actively inclusive in our cultural understanding and awareness of the histories of our country, and with that, we're going to start this webinar with a bit of a land acknowledgement to recognize all of Alberta and all of you who are joining from different parts of the province. We want to acknowledge that in the province of Alberta, we are situated on the traditional territories of Treaty 4, 6, 7, 8, and 10, ancestral homeland of the diverse First Nations groups, Métis and Indigenous people, whose ancestors have walked this land since time immemorial, and whose histories, languages, and cultures continue to influence our vibrant community. We pay respects to the Indigenous people of this land, past, present, and future, while recognizing their cultural heritage, beliefs, and relationship to the land on which we reside. So thank you again for joining us for our webinar today. Kelly Sinclair from KS Communications is joining us to present on how to attract your dream client without spending all of your time on social media. And as entrepreneurs and small business owners, we know that you have limited time, and so using that most efficiently is of utmost importance. Just to remind everyone joining us for today's webinar, please remember to keep your audio and video off during the presentation. If you would like to ask a question during the webinar, just click the chat button in the meeting controls and you can type a message into that chat box. Kelly may address some of them throughout, but we will also allow time for questions and answers at the end of the presentation. There may be questions, throughout, and we encourage you to participate. The information in this session is for general knowledge and should not be taken as professional advice. And it is my absolute pleasure to introduce our webinar presenter today, Kelly Sinclair. Kelly is a marketing and brand strategist who works with entrepreneurs to help get them clear on their message and who they serve so that they can grow their business. Kelly believes entrepreneurs are some of the most passionate, dedicated, and hardworking people around, and she is an entrepreneur herself. And that kind of commitment is what makes businesses successful. She also believes that if more people can find success in their entrepreneurial pursuits, the world would be a happier place. After a decade of working in public relations for international companies and multi-million-dollar brands, she's taken her big corporate experience and applied it to small business. She understands that every business is unique and requires a customized strategy in order to reach its goals. And Kelly is an award-winning communications professional, president of the Cochrane and District Chamber of Commerce, and a volunteer with Junior Achievement Canada. She holds an applied degree in public relations from Mount Royal University in Calgary, Alberta. And with that, I'm happy to pass it over to Kelly to start her presentation.
Thank you so much, Shay, and thank you everybody for showing up. I'm going to try not to be distracted by the beeping noise that comes every time someone joins the conversation. So if that is coming through on my microphone, sorry. I'm going to just do a couple of things to my video here before I get rolling. And ta-da, look at that. Okay, well, welcome to this special training today that I call 3 Secrets to Consistently Attracting Your Dream Clients without spending all your time on social media, because that is where we don't want to spend all of our time. And I hear so many entrepreneurs getting frustrated by social media. So that is what we are going to address today. I want to welcome you here and remind you that you have dedicated this next hour to learning for your business, to taking away some knowledge that might help you grow and change your strategies. So get out your notebook, turn off your distractions, close your social media, guys, and please use the chat to engage, because I wish that I could do events in person where I could see people's faces, but I don't really have that luxury right now, and neither do any of us, but I would like to not be a head talking at you on the screen. So I'd love you to use the chat when I ask you questions and engage with me that way, so that I know that you're here, you're awake, you're paying attention, That is awesome. So I'm excited that you are tuning into this presentation today, because you are in the right place if you're trying to use social media to build your business and you are not seeing the results you want in terms of actually getting clients, or maybe you just feel like this. So give me a yes in the chat if you wish that social media was less frustrating. This is where you take action. Yes. Immediate yeses, absolutely, right? I feel you on this because there's so many changes happening all the time. Resounding yes, I love it. How do you use these tools? What in the world is a hashtag? I just can't keep up with the TikTok and the Reels and all of that stuff going on. So when I go out to events and tell people what I do, this is what they most commonly ask me. They say, do you do social media? And it's like, I was going to be saving their life or something if the answer is yes, but the answer is kind of yes, but. And I mean, yes, because maybe you've heard social media is a really great tool to market your business because it's free, right? There's a lot of people there. It's easy to access a whole bunch of people at one time. I love social media for sure. So don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. People are searching there for your business. People are expecting to see you there. And it is a place that you can create relationships, but you just have to know how to use it properly. And I want you to understand how social media fits in to an overall strategy and see how it's a tool in your toolkit. So my goal with this webinar today is to show you the one simple way that you can grow your business authentically without feeling salesy and actually make the impact and the income that you're dreaming of and not spend all your time on social media. Yes? Does that sound great? Are you excited? Give me a yes in the chat. And as a reward for staying all the way to the end of this hour, I have a free gift for you. All right, so is this you? You know you can use social media to build relationships with your potential clients, but you're not sure how. You are not exactly sure who you're talking to, what you should be saying to them, and you don't know how to really create a brand, but you know it's something you're supposed to do. And you're also like, what is marketing and how do I market my business? There's so many ways, it's super overwhelming. I hear this a lot from my clients, and I'm going to address all of it in this talk today. But before we dive in, I just want to give you a little bit of a background about me and the story about how I even came to be doing this work in the first place. So when I was 30 years old, I was living that life that I planned. Married to my high school sweetheart, we have 2 daughters, living in a beautiful home, building my PR career, climbing the corporate ladder, basically doing life by the books, right? It was going pretty well. And then I went back to work after my second maternity leave. And if you've ever done that, you know that going back after a year off is challenging. It's really hard. Going from like diapers to adulting is a clunky transition. So I had a 3 and a 1-year-old at the time, and I had to get them out of bed in the morning for 6 a.m., drag them to a day home, drop them off while everyone is still like in their pajamas and exhausted. And I was exhausted. It was a total grind. I would be driving with my husband. We live in Cochrane. So we're driving to the city in Calgary. That's where we work. Trying to beat rush hour. We're on the highway and I have a thermos of coffee like glued to my mouth because I just have to chug it. And then I have a refill. So I'm like unscrewing the thermos, pouring more coffee into it while driving down the road because I needed to fully be caffeinated before interacting with another human being. In the morning, it wasn't good. I was like, oh, I'm just not adjusting. It just takes a while to come back from this mat leave, but things will get better. The universe had different plans. So one day I was in a team meeting and I got a call from my dad, and he said, Mom is in an ambulance on the way to the hospital and she had a seizure. And I just like froze, because even though I knew I could get a call like that at any time because my mom had cancer, it was progressing, it had gone into her brain, and I was aware of that. This was like that moment that made me realize, holy, like her health situation is really not good. And what am I doing? Like, it was like all of a sudden I just became aware of the reality of everything that was going on. And I immediately looked at my priorities and was like, okay, I am taking a leave of absence. I want my kids to have a relationship with my mom. I want to be able to spend more time with her. And what I didn't know was that we only had 8 days left. And then we lost mom. And when you experience a loss like that, you start to think about life differently. And I started thinking about what was really important. And it became really clear what wasn't. It wasn't getting my kids out of bed so early in the morning, going to work for someone else's mission, feeling the grind, feeling stressed, feeling exhausted, feeling like I didn't have quality time that I wanted with my family. And I knew in that moment that my priorities had shifted. And I asked myself why I, or anyone for that matter, would do anything that doesn't bring me joy, right? Why do anything that doesn't bring you joy? And I don't say that out of entitlement, but I say that from a place of really wanting to be happy and have a life that I love. And I think that we all deserve that, right? So what did I do? I started my own business. This is the beginning of KS Communications. I took my decade of PR experience and I wanted to bring it to my community of entrepreneurs, where I saw so many people who were running their businesses, trying to make that thing they were so passionate about be successful, but I also saw them struggling. Because, let me know this in the chat, you started your business to do the thing your business does, not so you could be a marketing specialist, right? You just want to get down to, you know, cooking the food or doing the service that you provide or whatever it is your business does. You're like, all the marketing stuff, that is not my bag. I need help. So I thought, yeah, I can help these people. I can help them by giving them the tools that they need to keep their business running, to help them become profitable and serve the people that they are trying to serve. Because here's what I believe. Everybody deserves happiness and success. Right, that's you. You deserve happiness and success. And when we spend a third of our lives working, that job, that business should be a source of abundance and joy and not a struggle. So how do you do that? You need to build a brand that can help you attract your ideal clients and help you grow your business. So let's dive into the secrets. Maybe if my thing wants to click. There we go. All right. So the 3 secrets I'm going to share with you today. The first one is that you can consistently find clients who are excited to work with you without worrying about beating an algorithm or spending all your time on social media. And you can build an irresistible brand no matter the size of your business. And also, there is a simple strategy to magnetically attract your ideal clients who can't wait to work with you. So we're going to dive into this first secret right now. So let me ask you this, pop quiz. What is the first thing you do when you start your business? This is where I want to see the chat lighting up again, but I've lost my chat box. I assume you're writing things. So anyways, here's the thing. Some people are saying website, some people are saying get a business license probably. I say tell people, oh, Jessica, you win. The answer is tell people. That is right. Where do most people start with this, right? They start with social media. Why? Because it's free. Lots of people are there. You can reach more people faster. All of these things are true. And I remember when I first started my business and I was searching for all of the resources to help me figure out what I should be doing, right? I signed up for all the free webinars. I listened to the podcasts. I bought the books. I bought the courses, all of the things. So one of the themes that I saw from all of these big influencers that I was following was that they were creating content that was adding free value to their people. So I was like, okay, I got it. Let's create content. And how do we do that? Well, we use social media, right? Have you been there? Maybe that's where you are right now. But then you start using social media and it's actually kind of hard. You're like, there's that feeling that I need to post multiple times a day, be on every single platform. I have to be all the places if I'm actually going to be seen, right? Or you're like, I don't really know what to say. I'm not very inspired to write a post right now, so I'm just going to leave it. And then, you know, a week goes by and you haven't actually shown up or done anything. And then you're on social media and you're like, how do I actually find the right people to connect with? Not every person is the right client for me, right? Not every person is who I want to be engaging with. So drop me a yes if you can relate with that. Here's the real deal. Social media is a tool. It's not a strategy. What's the difference? A strategy is why you're doing something. Social media is the thing that you're using. So it is part of your toolkit. It's really important. It is a platform that you can use to help reach people. But when you don't know what you're saying or who you're trying to reach, it doesn't really do a lot for you. So we need to back it up a step, okay? What you really need is a brand strategy. What is a brand strategy? I was making up my own definition for this, and I determined it is everything that you wish that you did before you started your website, before you started your Facebook page, before you tried to write emails to people. It's all of those pieces that guide the core of what your business is, who you are, and how you communicate that with other people. So I'm going to go deeper into this, but I want to be clear on one thing. You should still use social media. Okay, I don't want you leaving this webinar going, well, I'm not supposed to be on social media. Kelly said it doesn't work. No, that wouldn't be me serving you well. Me serving you well is helping you to understand how to use it effectively. So once you have your brand strategy in place, you can use social media to create relationships and build those followers and convert them into real paying clients. So here's some tips that have helped me grow my social media into an effective tool to build my brand. Being clear about the brand message in order to actually attract the ideal clients, right? This shows up in your Instagram bio, making sure that it's super clear what you do and who you do it for. This is maybe in your Facebook banner image, maybe it's the about section on your website. It also impacts the kind of content that you share, the language that you're using when you're communicating about yourself and who you're talking to. It even impacts your visual appeal. So understanding your brand helps you know like the colors that you're going to use. You're going to see that there's a lot of pink in because I'm just a pink person. So since we've defined our ideal clients also as part of our brand strategy, we now acknowledge that we don't have to be everywhere online. People breathe a big sigh of relief usually when I say this. You don't have to be everywhere. You just have to be where your clients are. And the reality is, if you're not consistent, you won't be successful. So you need to choose a platform and a frequency of posting that actually works for you, that you can sustain and build it from there. So I started just using Facebook. I built a habit around creating a weekly video, and then I started expanding from there. So I have the weekly videos. I have now done 70 videos. So my Facebook page, there's a lot of training that you can get for free. So make sure you head over there for sure. And then I started adding on top of that, right? The real thing to know is that interaction and engagement is more important than the number of followers that you have. And that's how the algorithm works. When people are actually paying attention, commenting, and taking action on your posts, then the platform is going to show it to more people. And this is how you start warming up your audience and getting those warm leads, by being like, hey, I'm a human behind the social media account, that I can have a conversation with you. And it's not just about, look at what I said, and just being like a poster, right? And this is the place where you convert those followers into clients. And the other thing that I learned is that you actually have to ask for engagement by using calls to action. So if you just I think when Instagram started, there was a lot of captions like, living my best life, Sunday fun day, or whatever, that doesn't really say a whole lot. But if you even added what are you doing this Sunday fun day? I know you have a question, way more likely somebody's going to engage with you on that post, right? So I wanted to give you a couple of screens that you can just screenshot and keep this as some top tips for you. These are types of calls to action that you can do to start changing the way that you're writing captions on your posts. So I'm talking about Facebook and Instagram here, but literally ask people to like this post. So think about yourself when you're on social media. You're kind of like scrolling and you're kind of like not really in a very smart state of mind. You're in a consumption mode. That's why you need to tell people what to do. So get them to like the post. On Instagram, you can use language like double tap if you agree, double tap if you feel this. Ask them to share it, right? Ask them to share it. This is something that gets done a lot when it comes to contests and stuff on social media. Request they save it. So anytime I'm writing a post that has maybe some tips and tricks that's more like educational, I'll usually say, save this post for later. And you may have noticed both on Facebook and Instagram that you can create little folders of types of content that you're saving to come back to another time. Get people to tag a friend. This is amazing. I wrote a post earlier on in quarantine when we were really locked down. And I was just like me holding the champagne glass on a Friday afternoon, being like, tag someone you wish you could have happy hour with right now. And it blew up. Okay, so it doesn't all have to be about your business or what you're selling. It's just like to get people engaged. You need to throw a few of those in every so often. Ask them to comment. And one really great way to do that is by posing a question to them and giving them some multiple choice options. So again, they don't have to write a novel. They just have to like pick an emoji or write a number, and they've engaged with you. It's good. Here's another one just to get a little more nerdy on engagement rate. This is something you can actually calculate and track for yourself. And again, screenshot this page because your engagement rate is the total number of likes and comments divided by your followers multiplied by 100. So go back, say 30 days on your Instagram, add up all of your likes, all of your comments, including the ones you put there, divide it by your followers, because it's all in the context of your followers, not like 6 comments when you have 20 followers is really good, right? So you're gonna multiply this by 100, you're gonna get a percentage, and what are you looking for? Anything around 5. Like 5 is an amazing engagement rate because organic reach on social media is like 1 to 2%. So you're getting higher than that, you're doing amazing. So keep this in your notes and go back like every month and just track this. You'll see if social media is working for you. You'll see if your engagement rate is increasing. So it's a really great metric to have in your business. So I wanted to give you a little example of brand strategy in action. This is Melody. She is a life coach for young adults, and she was trying to use social media to grow her business, but she wasn't sure what kind of content to share because she didn't really know who she was talking to. And we worked together and we developed her brand strategy so she got clarity on her message and who she was actually serving so she could create the content that was attracting those ideal clients. And now she runs masterminds and she helps young adults step into their identities and create the life of their dreams. And I'm so proud of Melody because she is killing it with her business right now. Okay, so recapping secret number 1, you can consistently find clients who are excited to work with you when you have a clear brand strategy. Everybody say, I need a brand strategy. Okay, that's cheesy. That's fine, we'll move on. Okay, but you might be thinking now, all right, cool, but you said brand, Kelly. And when I think of brand, I think big companies. I think Amazon and Coca-Cola and Nike. And here's the truth. You can actually build an irresistible brand no matter the size of your business. You're a solopreneur, you're a team of one, you consider yourself a small business, you are a brand. So I used to work for really big brands, as was indicated in my introduction. I worked for national, global companies that made millions, even billions of dollars. And the big PR agency where I worked, I ran 6 or 7 figure client accounts. And then I started my own business in a town of 30,000 people, and I felt really small. It was like just me hanging my shingle, doing my thing, no team, part-time even to start with. And so I can feel you if you're over there thinking, I'm just a one-person show. The idea of brand seems really big for me. But let me also ask you, are there any companies, any businesses in your community that are boutique, local, small, that you absolutely love? What is it that you love about them? So think about that place that you always go back to, that you make sure you stop in, once a week for the fresh pizza dough, or, the coffee shop that makes a latte that you could never make for yourself at home, or that, all natural beauty boutique that just sells the products that you can't get anywhere else. Maybe it's the gift shop with the amazing customer service that always brings in those unique things. Yeah. When it comes to branding, there's a lot of myths. Usually when I say the term branding, people are like, it's just a logo, right? It's all about colors, it's about fonts, it's about what you look like. Sure, that's a piece of it. It's really important. But that comes out of knowing more about your brand than just what you like, what your favorite color is. The other piece is like, oh, well, only big companies have brands. I'm just going to say, no, that's wrong. We've just established the brands of the businesses that you love in your own communities, right? And then we also think sometimes, well, products are brands, because I understand, what a ball cap looks like, or that a piece of clothing needs a brand on it, or that my, water bottle is a brand. But I don't think about that so much in terms of a service-based business, but you absolutely can have a brand with a service-based business. You just do. You have a brand no matter what. And this is why. This is my favorite definition of branding. It's that from Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So it's your reputation, it's your actions, and the message that shape you. And people are talking about you whether you think they are or not. So let's give them something amazing to talk about, okay? How do we do this? Well, this is my magic brand formula. And this is the foundation of all of the work that I do with my clients in my group program, all of that, because it's the core of any marketing effort that you're going to have. And it goes like this: who you are plus who you're for plus why it matters. And yes, the sequence is important, because we need to figure out who you are first. Being clear on what makes you unique is the foundation of successful business. What is your secret sauce? What do you stand for? What are your values, right? And then you need to know who you're for, because this is an acknowledgement that you're not for everybody. You can't serve all of the people. You need to know your ideal client inside and out so that you can put that out there and attract them to you. And then the last piece is the why it matters. This is the messaging. This is being able to share the story. This is being able to communicate the outcomes that you get for people, the problems that you solve, and why you do what you do. So I like to break down the brand values, the who you are, into these 3 types of values. So the first one is core values, which is probably what you would think of. This is what's most important to you, right? I say 3 to 5 max of the things that are the most important to you. Otherwise, you're not going to remember them, right? Choose words that are meaningful to you. Define them in your own way. I usually get my clients to write out like I am or I believe statements around each of the core values, because these are more than words on a wall. These are your guiding principles for how you actually operate in your business, how you make decisions about like whether you should partner with people, the kind of offers that you create. All of that stuff comes from your core values. Personality is the second piece of the brand values, and this is how you uniquely show up in your business. What's different about your business that, like, if your brand was a person, how would you describe it, right? How does your business behave? Is it like super professional, or are you more like fun and bubbly? If you didn't get it, that's kind of what mine is. As well, like there's encouraging, there's calm and peaceful. There's all kinds of different adjectives that might describe your personality. So think about what those are for you. And this one has the most influence, I think, on the visuals, on the fact that you're going to see like cupcakes and ice cream and sprinkles and magic wands and stuff all throughout my branding, my presentation, because I kind of like that fun, upbeat, kind of more bubbly vibe. So the last piece is the brand experience, and that is how you demonstrate the values in the way that you actually deliver your products or your services. So it's what your clients can expect. It's how they will actually talk about you. So the brand experience is really got a lot to do with their perception of you. So for me, one of my most important values that I demonstrate with the experience is consistency. So that's me showing up on social media regularly, in people's inboxes. If I say I'm going to be somewhere, I am there, and I'm there all the time. So it's that quality, dependability. I want people to know what they can actually expect from me. So this is another example. This is Mark, and I worked with Mark. He owns a co-working space here in Cochrane, and we worked to come up with his 3 core values. And they were connection, collaboration, and community. And I love that those words are literally on the wall when you walk into his space, but it also sets the tone for what to expect when you're there, right? When he says collaboration and he owns a co-working space, he means I'm gonna introduce these people to each other and see what they can create together, what a new relationship might look like. So it's so much more about like that space than just, I have now got a desk to work at for the day, right? So it's just wanting to show you how the brand values really influence your guiding principles and how you operate. So you can build an irresistible brand no matter the size of your business, and identifying those values is the first step in that process. So I want to tell you a little story here, and let me know if you can relate. So this is the desire to help everybody. This is that people pleaser kind of thing, and I'm guilty. I used to go, no, what happened? Sorry, this is the 3rd secret. I'm talking about it already. There's a simple strategy to magnetically attract you to your ideal clients who can't wait to work with you. So, as I was saying, I used to go to networking events a lot, and I would be like, hi, I'm Kelly, and I do PR and marketing for small businesses. And do you know what happened? Nothing. People were like, okay, cool. I don't know what that means. I don't know how you can help me. And so I didn't get any clients from that, even though I went to a lot of networking events, right? And maybe you understand this. Maybe you also make this mistake. Maybe you introduce yourself really generically by like saying that your title or generalizing your field, or you're like, well, what I do is for everybody, right? If there's any fitness instructors watching right now, you can easily say, sure, anybody with a body, I can help you. But if you really think about it, you have a particular style, way that you approach what you do. You have a certain type of person that you want to help, and a lot of that comes from your own story and your own experience as well, right? So now I say, hi, I'm Kelly, and I help passionate entrepreneurs uncover their unique brand by developing strategies to build authentic, purpose-driven businesses. Now that is called brand positioning. And that is what I teach when I work with clients and in my group program. What is the difference, right? This is a statement where I have actually made it clear who my ideal client is: passionate entrepreneurs, people who love what they do in their business. I've also made a clear statement about how I actually work with them. I uncover their unique brand and develop strategies around it, right? You may have heard this referred to as niching down. You may have also been afraid to niche down because you think that means I am reducing my potential market, and that scares me. But the reality is you actually increase your chances of finding clients because you're crystal clear about who you're looking for. So they land on your website, they land on your social media page. They're like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And they come to you. right? It's like there's people who might be like, oh, I'm kind of curious to explore that a little bit more. And then you have to work really hard to convert those people into clients versus saying, here's exactly what I do, exactly how I'm going to help you, exactly who you are. And they're like, get out of my head. Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I need. You need that language. You need to know who they are, right? And Marie Forleo says this best. She says, you can't reach everyone. You can't please everyone. You're not compatible with everyone. And I really think that last point is super key. When it comes to finding your dream clients, it's really a matter of compatibility. There will always be some people who are not going to jive with you. Some of you probably signed off already because you're like, oh, she's annoying, and you left. And that's okay. I'm okay with that, right? I used to be sensitive about it, but I've had to get over it. And that's something that you kind of have to acknowledge in your business. And I kind of make a dating analogy around this, right? When it comes to finding your ideal partner in life, you need to know who you are first so that you have those kind of, you know, those things that are off the table, those things that you're definitely not looking for, and you know who you are looking for. You need to know who you are first, and that's why we do the brand values and the who you are of the brand formula first. So let me just connect this back to marketing for a second, because you might be going, okay, what is the difference between branding and marketing? She keeps saying brand strategy. What does that mean? And this is the thing. The difference is simply this. Branding is who you are, and marketing is how you tell people about it. And this is one of my favorite definitions of marketing, and that's that marketing is both the act of attracting the people you want and repelling those that you don't, right? Nobody's interested in wasting their time. Not you, not your potential client. So if they come to your website and they're like, nope, and they leave, that didn't waste your time. That didn't waste their time. It was a respectful exchange. They come to your website and they're like, yes, that's what I need. I'm looking for it right now. Let me book a discovery call, right? And then you have the conversation. So this is an overview of what a simple brand strategy includes. It's defining your brand and your audience, what makes you stand out, and who are you serving. Creating both your message and the offer that your ideal client is actually looking for, and then sharing it, right? This is the marketing piece. This is sharing your message, implementing a simple content creation and circulation strategy that is going to help you increase your visibility, build relationships, and connect with your ideal clients. So like Debbie did, Debbie was struggling to find her ideal clients. She wasn't really clear on her message, who she was serving, or even what her offer was for that matter. She took my program, she decided who she was actually trying to serve, she adjusted her offer to what her audience actually wanted, and then she started getting clients and having people to work with. So let's just go back through these 3 secrets, because that was a lot. I'm going to recap it for you. The first one is that you can consistently find clients who are excited to work with you when you have a clear brand strategy. And every business has a brand. The first step is defining those brand values. And then you can magnetically attract your dream clients who can't wait to work with you when you are actually clear on who they are, right? So this idea of dream clients needs to be backed up with who they are for you. It's different for everybody. So I just want to bring this back to my why for a minute. When my mom passed away, I realized that life is short and time is really, truly precious. And while I was taking off time to grieve after we lost her, I thought a lot about what I wanted to do next. I could go back to my job. I could go back to that grind. But deep down, I knew that I needed to start my own business. And I felt this calling and this purpose to make more impact. And I made a vow that I would not spend time doing things that I didn't love to do. So starting my own business allowed me to define the kind of work I wanted to do when I wanted to do it, because sometimes success is not just about money, right? It's about the fact that I can walk my kids to school every day and I can pick them up for soccer practice without asking somebody else for permission, right? That is the dream. And I made it my mission to help others do the same. So when I see entrepreneurs struggling to grow their businesses, I feel like I have an obligation to help you get to those goals faster. Because here's the truth. The easiest way to build a fulfilling business is to create and execute a brand strategy so that you can confidently and authentically market yourself and not waste all your time on social media. So there's two ways to go about this, of course. There's the slow way, and that's try and do it yourself, Google all the answers, how to figure out what my brand is, or what to say to attract the ideal clients, or how to create a strategy that doesn't involve multiple hours a day on social media, right? You can get frustrated, and you maybe already have been, when you see conflicting advice on the internet. And ultimately, you would be wasting your time that you could actually be spending working with those ideal clients and making the impact that you're trying to make. And then there's a fast way though, of course, and that's having a brand strategy. That's knowing your brand message. That's getting clear on who your ideal clients are so that you can attract the right people to you and have a step-by-step plan to grow your business that is unique to your industry and your brand. So here is how I can help you with that. The free gift that I promised you, you can head over to my website and grab a copy of my free workbook, which is called Unlock Your Business Brand. It helps you identify your brand values, articulate what makes you unique, start writing your brand story, and get really clear about why you do what you do, because those things are so important. The author Seth Godin, no, it's not Seth Godin, it's Simon Sinek. He says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. They're more connected to the purpose behind your business, to the mission, to that overall thing, more than they are about like the fact that you sell sprinklers or whatever it is that you have. Okay, so we'll drop that link in the chat for you, and you can just go right, it's right there on my homepage if you scroll all the way to the bottom, and you can just pop in your email address and grab that workbook right now. And so that's the end of my presentation, and I would be happy to do a Q&A with you. Here's another one you can screenshot, just all my contact information, in case you didn't notice. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and there's my website, my email address. I would be happy to connect further with anybody here. I'm just going to open up the chat box. Yeah, somebody's read start with Y. That's cool. Okay, all right, okay, okay. I will try and scroll for questions, but Joette, if you happen to like write any down or copy any and like, let me know. So let's see here.
I think we do have a question from Frederick.
Okay.
So he's asking how brand strategy and marketing differs in a B2C environment as opposed to, I'm assuming, B2B. In which environment do you have more experience in?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And that is why the foundation of the brand strategy is knowing who you are and who you're for, right? When you have a business audience and you know that that is your ideal client and you're talking about maybe services, even products or services. And again, excuse me, it doesn't matter what it is that you're selling. You just have to be clear about how this helps the person that you are selling to. So one of those key messages is around problem solving, right? What's the problem that you solve? What is the thing that you help your ideal client actually do? So ultimately, what's going to be different in the strategy is the tactics, the way you might actually reach people, right? So that would be the difference between choosing to use Instagram or TikTok or be on LinkedIn, right? Like that's why you have to know your audience, and then you choose the way you actually do it. One of the other things that I often teach people is that marketing has 3 M's. It has a message, it has a market, it has a message, and then it has a medium. And so the medium is the last thing, because people also always ask me like, well, where should I be marketing your business? And I can't tell you the answer to that unless I know who you're trying to reach. And then on top of that, we need to know what you're trying to say to them.
I think that leads very well into the next question, because we have, and I think you've sort of just answered it, but Amy's asking what social media platforms you find most useful for marketing. And I guess that depends on who you're trying to reach.
Yep, 100% does. It does two ways. Who you're trying to reach, and if you find out that your audience is potentially on all of these places like social media, if they're on Facebook, if they're on Instagram, if they're on LinkedIn, well, where are they primarily? Like that's how you might make a choice. And the other way to make that choice is, what do you want to spend your time doing? Because like I said, one of the key things is consistency. If you're not willing to show up regularly on this platform, then don't do it. Like I do not have TikTok because I do not want to learn TikTok. And maybe that would help me find more people, but I'm not going there. I can show up every single day on Instagram. I'm cool with that. And I'm committed to it and I'm consistent with it. And it's caught on and it's becoming like generating relationships and building clients and all that stuff. So it's about where are they and what are you willing to do consistently?
Yeah, and I'll just add to it. I think that if you're trying to be on everything, but you can't update it all, and your client's going to find information, and even if your store hours are updated, especially now during these times, and you have to update it on all of these different platforms and you're unable to do that, it can be confusing for the client or your customer, and then they have to go to a bunch of different places. And so, yeah, I think focusing on the ones that provide the most ROI for you is really important. What about if you only have Facebook?
Then use
another
Facebook.
Question.
Yeah, I started with just using Facebook. I was like, I don't want Instagram. I just don't want to do another one. And that was part of the reason, right? Like, so using Facebook, think about how to use Facebook effectively. Again, the goal with social media is engagement. So just having like a place where you're posting stuff and you're simply just pushing out information, that's not what you're looking to do. You want to create engagement. So think, how can you maybe you create a group, maybe you're active in different Facebook groups and you're sharing information in there, and that's how you're creating engagement and building relationships using Facebook. Besides, like, so just try not to just be pushing information out all the time.
We do have another question from Carm as well. To reach clients, is it best to focus on organic or paid ads?
That totally depends on what you are trying to do. From what I know is a best practice when it comes to paid ads, you need to be using a paid ad to promote a free thing. And then the free thing is what gets them into your funnel, like, and that might be like a big marketing term, but ultimately you're trying to get their email address or some way of having a longer term relationship with them. So, and you want to know whether that thing that you have to offer is actually converting. So is it actually causing the action you want them to take? And if that's just giving you an email address and it's working, then it's worth it, right? There's a number you can analyze in your business, which is like your client acquisition cost. I'm not going to get into like fancy things like that because quite honestly, I don't look at a lot of that in my own business, but I don't use paid ads very often. I might boost the occasional thing on social media if it's an event, but again, it's pushing to a free thing. I understand that it's quite difficult to sell something that has a cost using a Facebook ad, because if that's somebody's first interaction with you, unless you were, I guess, only doing those ads to your existing audience, that might work.
All right, so if anyone has any other questions, feel free to add them in right now. Oh, lots of thank yous. I think that everyone really enjoyed it. I sure did. Like I said, I love that you say that you don't need to be everywhere. Like I said, small business owners and entrepreneurs have limited time, and so you need to get the most bang for your buck.
I literally see people like, oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for telling me I don't have to be everywhere. I don't want to learn how to use Instagram. Then don't.
Yes.
It's okay.
I think that Chrome had one more, and so it was just, what metrics do you use to measure success? I'm assuming that that's specific to sort of social media.
Sure. So I track the engagement rate. I think that's a really important one that you can follow and see how it's working. You can look on Instagram both on Instagram and Facebook. When you go into your business profile, you can see insights on particular posts. You can see what's doing well. I try and look at, like, if there was a particular time of day that I posted something, if that worked better, and just try and make little tweaks like that. But ultimately, overall, I'm just trying to show up consistently, add value, share my story, bring my personality into things. So that allows people to get to know me. Like, people think, I've heard it said before, like your social media is like it's just the place where people get the first taste of you, right? And they're kind of checking you out and like, oh, okay, like, oh, that was a useful post or something that was helpful to me. Maybe I'll stick around. Or they're like, no, that's not what I'm looking for. And then they go somewhere else, and that's totally cool.
Yeah, I think in terms of saving time too, Kelly, do you have any recommendations in terms of how people can sort of plan their social media out in advance? I know that Later is quite popular. I think Facebook, you can schedule right there on that platform still. Do you have any sort of favorites in terms of scheduling out your social in advance?
I do. I use Content Creator Studio. Creator Studio is the Facebook and Instagram. If you didn't know, Facebook owns Instagram, so they're connected to each other. It allows you to program your Facebook and Instagram posts from your desktop. So on Instagram, it was really annoying for a while if you didn't want to use a third-party app, because there's been a lot of kind of studies done on using third-party apps to promote, like to push out your content, and that the algorithm is like, well, you didn't bother getting on Facebook today, so I'm not going to show this to anybody because it's like been pushed there from a Hootsuite or some other platform like that. So I think I use Creator Studio. I plan a week in advance. I usually sit down for about an hour on a Monday. I write out posts for the whole week. I schedule them, and then I just check in. So then all I'm doing is like 20 minutes a day on the platform to engage with people, answer questions if they put questions, or answer, personal messages or something like that, versus like trying to sit down every day, feel creative enough to come up with a post caption, actually write it out and share it all at the same time. I think it's much more efficient to batch the content creation and I use a big spreadsheet. I just use a spreadsheet to keep all of that content. So I can just copy and paste it over into Creator Studio, pull some pictures together, boom, beautiful.
Wonderful. So many great insights today. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to all of the participants for joining us today as well. If you would like to contact us at BusinessLink, please email askus@businesslink.ca, or you can call 1-800-272-9675. You can also just visit businesslink.ca, and all of our information is on there. You can connect even with a strategist via live chat, so in real time. If you're looking for one-on-one advice, would like to sign up for our newsletter, connect with us on social media, chat with us online, or stay informed on upcoming events, workshops, and webinars, again, just visit businesslink.ca. You will all receive an email following this webinar with a link to a survey. We would love to know what you thought, anything you liked, didn't like, what you would like to see in the future. So please do take a few minutes to fill that out. It's less than 5 minutes. Yeah, and thank you so much again, Kelly, for your time. Greatly appreciated, and I think that we're all walking away with a lot of really good tips and tricks.
Awesome. I appreciate so much the opportunity to be here with you all today, and thanks for showing up and sticking around to the end and learning something new for your business. I know that you're all going to go out there and make your passions a success.
Oh, and you will receive a copy of the recording. It also will go on our website. Sorry, I'm just seeing a comment here from Sandy in the chat box. So this webinar will be recorded and added to our website, along with several other recorded webinars that we have on a variety of different topics. So it'll be there within about a week. And then additionally, you will receive a recording of the webinar, so you can always come back to it. And with that, I think that we will end the webinar. So thank you all again.